because she is the first person I have to ask a question about. She's probably like, why does he have to ask me something? Because I had a one-on-one
Uh,
today, and somebody had a question about the reimbursements for the Universal. Can you give us an update? I know you kind of were
oh,
keeping.
yeah, sure. Basically, I've been reimbursed twice and I had to fight for it each time. The second time they sent me the AI bots told me no 4 times before I got a yes. This time they didn't have to kick me over to live chat. The first time that was the big one, that was the 48 stranded units that I allowed to go through stranded. So when they went stranded and I allowed it to be automated, they said I should have done it manually. And when I did it manually, they said, we're not going to pay you because you did it manually. But I have been reimbursed. I had to do the ping pong thing 5 or 6 times.
Well, I appreciate you helping me out with Michelle. I have one-on-ones with Michelle, and she got all the money came out of her account this past pay period, so she was a little PO'd. I'm like, if Leslie's on the call tonight, I promise it'll be the first thing I bring up. So I appreciate you helping us all out here and keeping us posted.
Yeah, absolutely. What helped me with the second one was asking for a live support specialist. I was just, it's bots answering those emails.
So what if we don't go through all those hoops that you went through? Will we still be reimbursed?
No,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, I was mad. I was mad too, but I was
I should
very
have
mad.
known better than to ask a stupid question like that with Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, there were,
Sorry.
while we're on the topic, there was someone in the Discord that helped me, or I, borrowed from what they put. I'm not sure who that was. Actually, there were two people, I think. And I included a screenshot of the removal order and a screenshot of the transaction report and a PDF of the actual email, which was from the end of February, which was also in our performance notification, and then copied and pasted where Amazon said they would cover the cost of return of the inventory.
Yeah, that's absolutely insanity to get them to hold their end of the deal, and they shouldn't have said it if they didn't weren't going to do it straight across the board, right? Or have some type of plan. But like Tommy Boy said, you've been around long enough to know that you can't trust these people, like from somebody off the street who's wearing a ski mask and a hoodie, driving in a car that ain't got no license plate, like
Well,
that.
to be fair, they have a process for doing it that they wanted you to follow that they didn't tell anybody about, right? So it's not like they're unwilling to do what they said they were going to do. There's just secrets that they didn't share that you would think that they would share with you if they expected you to do it. So, uh,
That's that's a good theory, but I'm not sure if there really was a process. Because first they said I shouldn't have allowed it to go automated, and
yeah,
then they said I shouldn't have done it manually.
I see.
And the link that they sent us was a generic link that just went to the instructions on how to about removals. There was no specific link just for Universal and Marvel removals.
She played both games, Brian, and they screwed her both ways.
I get it. I mean, I think I had 100 or so. And I'm just like, I've heard you talk about this several times now, Leslie, and I haven't even been on all the calls, and I haven't been in the Discord hardly at all in the last 2 months. And I'm just like, $100 is not worth it.
She's fighting the
So,
good fight, dude. I'm Team Leslie.
absolutely, absolutely. I'd rather like eat ramen noodles for a week and save myself $100 in food, I guess.
No, no, you.
Yeah, no, there was another member in the Discord that said that they were going to fight this just out of spite, that
Yeah,
they were, um, you know, I let a lot of things go, but this was kind of big, it was more than 50 units. It was quite a bit. And then you're losing the inventory and the opportunity to sell it. So it was a fairly big hit. But I'm going to be hopefully working with Max on the consignment thing. It'll be a while before I can get to it, but um, I'm
Hey,
looking forward to that.
I'm here for it. You can reach out whenever, and I'm happy to answer any questions regarding it. I think I make myself clear in that. Hopefully I do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. First, I gotta get my get my stuff shipped, my new stuff shipped in before I deal with that. Uh,
We
yeah.
need more people like Leslie fighting a good fight, taking it to Amazon. Not that they'll ever like reverse it for all of us, but you know what? The hell with them. If somebody, I guess I'm old school. When somebody says one thing, you expect them to do it, right? That's why I don't associate with a lot of people in the book selling space because they tell me one thing and then they do the opposite. And like my biggest thing is your word, right? You tell me something, you're going to do something, then you do it. So I 100%, that pisses me off. I'm just hearing that you have to jump through all these hoops. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's just wipe this out. Let's just give people the credit. They're not gonna lose a blink of sleep over this. It's crazy to me.
Mike, do you have any idea what these promo rebates are that the fees are?
It's something related to when Amazon runs promotions on the back end. I think you wind up getting them credited back. It's just so they can get people to actually shop your items.
Yeah, I think they have like discount codes, like you can save 10%. But what I've noticed is your shipping payments are usually rebounded back. So I have a feeling what happens is there's promotions, but they're non-Prime users, so that's paid back in the cost of shipping. So in the end, they usually should equal out. If not, shipping is even larger than promo rebates.
Yeah.
So
So
you're saying I'm going to get that money back?
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's just
good.
paid out in a different avenue, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I seen Jeff pop up. Fun fact about Jeff today: we were supposed to have a one-on-one, and he left me high and dry. But Jeff, I still love you, and I understand it was like 3 a.m. where you're at, so I'll give you a pass.
This is my dog's cone of shame, and I brought it for it
Dude,
was
that's for you. That's for you, man. That's for you. Hopefully the dog's doing all right, and yeah, you should wear the cone now. It's not a big deal, man. I figured it was super early anyway.
no, I was I looked at the calendar. It's just like, oh, that was 9:30 Eastern. Oopsie.
Yeah,
so
you're living on the other side of the universe.
so my bad on that. But for the group, I actually just ran a just a $3 ad on Facebook, and the bulk pickups have been good. So I've actually got two connects out of it. So people are struggling right now. So now's a good time to run an ad if you're low on inventory. Johnny's about to get three extra boxes of stuff.
Three
So
dollars a day or $3 a month?
$3. I think I was 3 days, $3. I ran one ad for CD pickups and one for book pickups, and I got like there was five or six that ended up happening out of it.
Damn, free pickups?
No, I think said 10 cents an item, 10 cents a pound for the books, 10 cents a item for the CDs, DVDs.
You're just giving away all the sauce. Now, next time I go on to Facebook, I'm gonna see a bunch of you guys. Oh yeah, you're getting bombarded with ads.
Hey man, I'm telling you, it's if I don't have to elbow people at book sales anymore, and I can just
Hey, I've got lots of inventory. It's 30 cents a disc. Come and get it. Unlimited supply.
Dude, every time I
Love
talk to
to
you, the
get
price
it.
goes up. We went 15, 20, now it's at
The
30.
the inflation here is crazy.
Max, it's all right. I'll cut you in for a percentage if they come after it. Don't worry.
Price
It's
go-
like it's like liquidated damages.
Oh God, you all are a mess. Anybody got anything fun, exciting, any headaches going on? I'm the whole eBay AI software race to the moon thing's pretty comical. I laugh about that. I don't think it's going to do anything for media sellers, right? Because think about the stuff we sell on eBay. It's like collectible, curated items. So like having an AI do the listing just doesn't make sense because we need to have more details. It needs to show all the defects, and so I think it's crazy that people think AI is going to save their business because if it's junk, it's junk, right? Even if the AI sees it and lists it, if it's still a crappy item, it's not going to sell. There's nothing that's going to make junk sell on the internet anymore, right? So I kind of been laughing at the whole debacle. I do see how it makes sense in some business models, but I think a lot of people think that just software like that is going to somehow, some way, magically make their non-desirable items sell, and I think that's not the case at all. I mean, we just got to find better items to sell and put it at prices to
I
sell.
think I think the main reason why there's so much fuss over it is because I mean it's probably the big picks to dead piles where people don't actually want to list. So in a way you can make an argument that it's actually encouraging laziness in your listings because you know that the AI will never be able to spot on price stuff. At least for the time being, it would be very difficult, especially if it's something like a one of a kind item. If it's collectible, maybe otherwise, but it's just giving an excuse for people to either not work because they can just say, "Oh yeah, AI is up and coming. We'll just wait till AI can fix my death pile. When in reality, it's gonna be the one. It's either gonna be up to you. It's gonna either have to be you or somebody else who does this pile and get it done.
When I worked at CVS, I had one little code that I made all my shift supervisors operate by, and it was even if it takes you longer to get the job done, if it's done correctly, that's what matters. So I have the same idea behind AI is if I can do it quicker with AI, but it doesn't do it the proper way or not fully 100% the way you want it to be done, eventually you're going to have to come back and just do the work yourself anyway, right? So you're literally doing double the work. And I cannot stand when I had to do things two times, whether that's reselling, whether that was being a manager at CVS. There's no reason we should have to come back and do the same work again. And I think that's what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to list a lot of things. You could also argue this in our space, right? Like when people price their items or they let the software price their items at that initial price and the items don't sell, and then we see this all the time within ourselves, right? We'll go in, we'll do manual repricing, and that item that's been sitting there for months sells that night because we actually put it at the price where it's actually going to sell. So I think what happens here is we let it do the work and we don't see the sale anyway, but then we have to come back and revisit it and redo everything. So it's like you're doing double the work almost. And you still got to take the photos. So the photos is the most kind of pain in the ass part. I don't mind doing the description and the title structure because that's the most important part. The photo part is what sucks. And you also could argue in the media space, if we're going to have an eBay lister, why don't we just cross list to everywhere, right? And just use stock photos and cross list to every single platform that's possibly available instead of just worrying about just eBay. That's kind of my take on it. I'll be curious to see how it plays out over the next few months. I mean, is there innovation to be made in AI? 100%. Is it great for some categories? Hell yeah. I mean, if you don't got to do everything for, clothes, it somehow can get the measurements. But, like Max said, like the pricing, I guess, is just going to take like an average rolling price of how much something is sold for previously and like what the listings are. I don't know. I just, I'm not against software making life easier, but it has to make sense for me. And given that much control to it, where it's doing the title structure, it's doing the item specifics, and it's doing the price, I mean, you're really trusting this thing to basically be 100% taking control of your business because all you're doing is taking photos at that point. I don't know. Well, I think it'll get better with time, but right now, I don't think any time it makes sense for media sellers just to have a software to list on eBay. I mean, you might as well just get one of the big boy cross listers and list it everywhere. There's no point. Just use stock photos.
There's gonna be new YouTube videos coming up once this all reaches the big popularity. It's gonna be like eBay AI listing arbitrage,
Yep.
where you're just
Yep.
picking up all the bad listings with niche details. Like I can tell you some of those expensive band shirts that go for $500, they'll be thrown up for $20, and
Yeah.
there'll be definitely opportunities that open up even there.
People used to do that on eBay with sports cards when eBay released their AI description, because people would just click the AI description and then hit listing, and then people would buy the sports cards and the description would be wrong, and they'd be like, "Well, this is the wrong card. I want a refund." And there's that I got dinged on it twice, and I was like, "All right, that's it. I'm not using the eBay AI anymore."
Yeah, because like the eBay AI description would just pull like the specifics, and if you hit like sell from like another one, and the specifics are wrong and you don't catch them, they'll still throw it in the description. I think we're going to run into a lot more of that as well. I don't know. I say this all the time. I don't care really. Selling any type of barcoded media on eBay is a waste of time. I don't care. I stand by that. I said it many, many times. If it's got a barcode, just sell it on Amazon. If you're not selling on Amazon, then start selling on Amazon if you plan on selling barcoded media for the foreseeable future. There's no way my business exists on eBay. There's no way I could translate a $20,000 a month on eBay like my Amazon business to eBay, there's no way. Just the amount of quantity I would have to have listed, just the sheer amount of hours I would have to put into it, just doesn't make sense. Now, sure, the antique collectible type stuff, it's always going to be the market, right? It's always eBay, but for anything else, it's a waste of time. If it isn't
I
worth it
do
on
have,
Amazon, it
oh,
surely
sorry.
isn't worth it on eBay. Yeah, that's right.
I do have a question that you mentioned earlier about, I know you mentioned it before, like you go back and your old inventory that the reprice it or repricers like not catching or is like pricing out of line. You have to copy that SKU and like put it into reprice it, right? For them to not do it again. Otherwise, if you reprice it manually, it's just going to go back and price it crazy again, right?
Negative. So there's a box on the reprice it template that says do not reprice up this percent if it's higher. So I have mine at
Okay.
20%. So as long as I'm
Okay.
dropping it 20% over the high price, it's not going to reprice back up.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure because if I'm going back to my, like my old inventory, I just want to make sure that I'm not having to copy all those SKUs and like exclude them.
Nah, you'll be there
Yeah,
forever.
I use Be Cool and I
All
run
right.
into that
Cool.
problem. And so sometimes I have to go into Be Cool and change the maximum or look at the rule I'm using because it is possible in Be Cool to double up your efforts.
Yeah, it's funny. One of my one-on-ones earlier today brought up the same thing, and they didn't have a percentage in the do not reprice if the price goes up this percent. So you got to have a percentage in there. I got 20/20 on both of them, so that'll save you. And if you're the only FBA offer, it's not going to reprice anyway. But usually you can see the ones that are being a pain in the butt because if you sort of high to low, you'll just keep seeing the same one. Like when I sit down at night, look at them when I'm on my phone and the cats are eating. I'll see that same one. Every once in a while, I have to exclude them, but I maybe only excluded like 20 items my whole career selling on Amazon, which is crazy to think about. So I really just kind of let the repricer take care of itself, honestly. Tatiana brought up a good point, and I didn't even know this. Decluttr is now closed. Their website says we are now closed. So, Tatiana, you shouldn't be scanning for sellback anyway. You don't have the time. So you kind of outed yourself here as you're still chasing after that buyback money when you should be scanning the good stuff.
I mean, I think in terms of Decluttr shutting down, of course, yeah, it removes an avenue to get rid of your duds. Probably a less convenient avenue, I'd say, because you're shipping out everything. But if you realize that there's also local ways to get rid of your duds, I mean, there's of course the Goodwills and there's other ways where you get tax write-offs and all that. And there's even people in the area that I know that buy off my duds, and I have programs where I make back 15 to 20 cents a dud even for ones that don't work for me. So it's just finding local connections, and they'll take duds because be aware that Amazon isn't the do all be all in the business. There's people who are able to sell James Patterson books for $3 to $5, but not on Amazon. So it's really just trying to find those people, and that's where the most benefits found, I'd say.
Sounds like a good clickbait video topic, right? Declutter is closed down. Does that mean we're next? It'll just be me like crying, holding a DVD and a CD up. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, for what they pay, I don't know how they went under. They don't give you nothing barely for anything. So I'll be curious to get a little bit of backstory why Declutter actually no longer exists. What else we got going on out there in the universe?
Pokemon has opened up its doors again. If you want to try and get ungated in that, for some people.
Oh, I got ungated in Pokemon many, many years ago. I don't think I've sold anything Pokemon though. I can't find anything Pokemon sell. Thrift store
I,
see. Go ahead, Jeff.
I experimented over the last 2 weeks of for both the old inventory repricing and for my main repricer to go 15% below Amazon instead of 10. And it didn't really, I think my ASP only went down by about 25 cents, but the order conversion just went through the roof. So even with less stuff, because I had had a pretty big week before that, very little effect on the sales price, but I was moving stuff quite a bit quicker. So if anybody has a slowdown, changing the percentage below Amazon from 10 to 15 may be a way to get a little extra cash flow.
full circle. Price is what matters on Amazon. I keep trying to convince you all that condition means nothing. Being the best price is how you're going to sell yourself on Amazon.
Which repricer are you using, Jeffrey?
Using Reprice It. So I just have
Okay.
I just have my main repricer, and then I have a modified version of Mike's template. It's almost the same for the old inventory. It's just instead of 649, I have it at 749 since I have more books than media as of now, and then I have a 649 for stuff that's over a year old. But yeah, I'm using Reprice It.
Okay. I don't, I know, I think I've asked this question before, but I don't believe that Be Cool has a option to stay a percentage below Amazon new price, which is frustrating. The reason I switched to Be Cool is because it has a profit calculator, and I had some RA items, and I needed help determining the minimum price.
I don't know. Anybody here use Be Cool? You're out of luck, Leslie.
Mike, real quick on you mentioned, so I'm actually looking at the Reprice It templates right now because I'm having that same issue where I go in and reprice the top 50 most expensive, but it keeps going back up. So it's if the price of an item goes up more than X%, then do not reprice. You have that at 20.
Correct. I got the goes down and goes up both at 20.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna try that out.
I put a Pokemon Ace in the Zoom call in case somebody is trying to see if they are gated in Pokemon or if they can even apply to get ungated. Hopefully that's one that is gated behind
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I can apply, and it's a 100 unit gate. I don't think it's for video games though. It looks like it's more for like Pokemon cards and all that fun stuff.
I need to start a Pokemon consignment business.
There are lots of people.
It's hot right now. It's real hot right now.
I can't imagine trying to sell Pokemon cards or like collectible cards on Amazon because people are just going to rip them, take the good ones, and send them back.
Okay, so I thought that the same thing, especially with sports cards because you can get ungated in like Panini those cards pretty easily. Not actually the case. I'm in a reselling Discord, which is basically but started as a sports card and Pokemon card Discord. Really, probably I think it was a sneaker Discord before that. It's just kind of evolved over the last like 6 years, but they've just started really getting into Amazon reselling, mostly arbitrage. Um, and honestly, they have a pretty good sample size of sports cards on there. You get the one or two returns where people open the cards and return it, but for the most part, people are pretty honest.
Good to know. Somehow Tommy Boy can sell the DVD, and I know he never submitted a Pokemon invoice, so
That's a different brand. That's Viz Media. That's not Pokemon.
oh, give us one that's
Yeah.
Pokemon that you're gated in then. I just chose the first one that popped up.
Yeah, if you search Pokemon and you just see the trading card packs, you'll be able to see all of them. I can't pull an ace in because I'm gated in those, but that DVD I'm able to sell because
Okay.
it's not Pokemon branded technically.
All right, I got one. I got one dropping right now into the Zoom. That is cards, Pokemon cards, which should be gated behind the brand. Just double check.
That's right. Yep.
All right, so that's the real test. The
So-
real.
I mean
Pokemon brand.
that's a big brand, which means it's kind of a little bit of copium for Sony and Disney to maybe open up their doors soon.
Yeah, that would be nice. I know a lot of these are waiting on Sony and Disney. I thought for sure they would have opened them back up early this year, and they're hanging on tight for whatever reason that may be. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Also Nintendo and Philips too. Those are annoying ones that are still hard gated.
Not for me. I can sell Nintendo. I don't even sell
Yeah.
Nintendo. Why'd I get
I'll
ungated
send
in
you
it?
all these.
Why'd I even get ungated? I don't even sell the stuff. Back in my day, you only needed 10 units, so $50 to get ungated in Nintendo and Pokemon. That's a no-brainer, even if you don't ever plan on selling it. Oh, what else we got going on out there in the universe? I got to get another box out to Johnny. I got a bunch of stuff sitting underneath my desk that's got his name on it. I've just been putting it off. I don't know. I got stuff at the storage unit. I got stuff here. I got library sales tomorrow and Thursday. Yeah, I'm going straight to the disc media at both sales. One is a big sale. Well, it's got big sale highlighting on Book Sale Finder, so that'll be absolute chaos. Probably like 6,000 people there fighting over the books, and I'll just sip on my pina colada and scan the DVDs and CDs. The other one's a little bit smaller, so there probably won't be a big turnout. They both are paid preview nights, so that keeps some of the riffraff away when they got to pay 10, 15 bucks to get in early. So that's a benefit. I always enjoy when it's not free because some of the riffraff, they don't go even if it's 10 bucks. What's up, Andy?
I want to ask a moral question.
Ooh.
Okay, so I picked up a book that's signed, and it was moldy, and it's pretty bad. It still has an odor. I heard you can put them in the freezer, you can put them in the sun, you can wipe the pages down. It still smells pretty bad, but it's kind of valuable. So has anybody ever sold a book like that? Because when I ship it to somebody and they get it out of the box and it smells funny, they're going to be like, what is this?
How valuable are we talking?
I mean, not that valuable. I was just kind of curious. It's like a 1 of 200 signed.
What's it worth, you think?
Well, in good condition, like $100. So I was going to list it for like 25, but maybe it's not worth the headache of somebody shipping it back to me or complaining about it.
Yeah, I would side on the headache part of it and say it's not worth shipping it out and then having it sent back to you. Because even if you put it in the photos and even if you put it in the description notes and even if you message them before you send it, you know how it ends. It always ends in them saying, oh my God, this thing stinks. And they send it back to you and you waste your time.
Then the second part of that question is there a way to get mold out of a book if it is really valuable? Has anybody had maybe spray it with vodka or something like that? Or if it smells like cigarettes really bad, like all my Stephen King books always smell like cigarettes.
I don't know. Somebody got anything?
You could try the ozone method. I think Johnny was talking about it for a while. You just have to be really careful with ozone because it can be very hazardous to your health. So you might want to reach out to Johnny about that.
I recommend tossing it. You're just gonna deal with hell. I've gone.
I was gonna say, just send it to Johnny.
Cigarettes are the worst.
Send it to Johnny.
or yeah, consign it or try to go to the world of books or whatever. But
yeah, well, it was certainly an experiment, and I made it worse.
Yeah, that doesn't look good, man.
So it looks pretty awful. Yeah, I think it's time to just get rid of it.
You tried. A+ for effort. The book gods appreciate
Marketplace. You. Facebook Marketplace. Free pickup.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Best to move on.
I would keep it if it was somebody that I wanted to, an author that I really wanted.
Would you keep it in your apartment or would you keep it in the storage unit since it smells?
I'd keep it out in the yard for a while. The smell will go away eventually, hopefully.
Or a raccoon will come and grab it, take it off.
And then, the world has spoken. It's gone. The raccoons got it. They appreciate it. Build a nest or something out of it.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with you all? What am I going to do with you all? What else is going on in the universe? Nothing. GoToLister's got mobile listing coming out. It's not fully out yet to everybody. They're running the beta test, so we'll see how that pans out when the time comes. Could be beneficial to some of us. I know a lot of you are out on the road a lot traveling, so listening through your phone would be nice. Um, then the next thing we need to do is like find a battery powered dymo, so we can just print FNSKUs and create shipments right from the trunk of our car. And then we all can sell our homes and live out of our 2008 Nissan Altimas, right? We could travel the world and we never need a house again because we can list right from the car, right from the trunk, and just keep a little room in the back seat. Man, we got a quiet bunch today. You guys are all expecting me to have some long-winded, I don't know. It's business as usual for me. The weather's been so wacky this summer. It's like 60 degrees one day, then it's 95 degrees the next day, then it's 1,000% humidity. The thrift stores have been good. I'm still finding new thrift stores. I found one this past week. I probably have driven by it for the past 5 years, and I just decided, let me pull up thrift stores near me on Google. It's literally half a mile off the road I drive when I go an hour and 15 minutes towards Gettysburg. And just like I cleaned up because I've never been there before. So, the first time you go somewhere, it's usually the best. And the books were a quarter and 50 cents, and they're buy one, get one free. The DVDs were $1, buy one, get one free. CDs were buy one, get one free at 50 cents. It's like, at that point, you could almost just buy the whole store and you still wind up being profitable. Only thing that sucked is like the parking lot was like a mile down the road. So it's like around the side of like almost like a halfway house kind of thing. So I park and I'm like, where's the store at? It's like a sign, thrift store around the side. Walk around the side of the building, the damn door's like 100 yards away. And I'm like, what is going on here? So of course I fill up the shopping cart and I gotta carry it all. But hey, it was definitely worth the $1,000 I probably made off the place. But and they appreciated it and they said, hey, we put the books out every single day. And now that you bought a bunch of them, we're going to put a lot more out. So I said, well, I'll stop back every time I make my way out this way. I'll be sure to stop in and scan everything as usual. It's been quiet on the bulk front for me. Facebook Marketplace has been dead. There is no, I'm talking, these people want $2 a piece for these crappy DVDs. It's been absolutely terrible. So I keep looking though, because that's the only way you're going to find something is if you keep looking. But I haven't had a hit on Facebook Marketplace in like 2 months. Ever since my last big one, it's been just people wanting way too much for their DVDs. No CDs at all. The CDs are just, nobody's even really selling CDs. I got somebody around me that does like Gaylords, and he tries to sell his duds. And unfortunately, he does sucker a lot of resellers into it. And like his reviews are like, this stuff was absolutely junk. The discs were missing. But resellers always try to cut the corners and take the quick dollars. And in reality, like he literally puts free Gaylords of mixed media, like, and people go spend all their time grabbing this Gaylord and like all the discs are missing, and it's just completely just nastiness. So it's if it's too good to be true, then it's probably too good to be true, especially in the reselling world. That's one thing I realize is if something's spun up a certain way and it sounds, oh my God, this is a deal I can't, there's no way nobody would ever turn this down. You probably should turn it down. That's just a little bit of common knowledge over the years. If something sounds like it's way too good, it probably is. Although then again, my last 2 DVD pickups were absolutely crazy good for what I paid. 10 cents a piece for 6,000 DVDs, and 1,000 of them are brand new. Like everybody here would think that was too good to be true. So I guess some stories are true. You just got to vet them out a little bit.
I don't know if you guys remember maybe like a month ago, I had a lady who had like 13,000 DVDs from like an old video store, and I offered like her $1,000, and she like told me to go kick rocks, and I told her basically like, all right, I'll hear from you in like a month. The listings was at 3,500. Now it's down to 1,500. So once it's down to 1,000, I'm gonna reach out and offer her $800 for them.
Dude, even 1,500's a good deal, man. You're.
Nah, listen. I went there. I drove an hour to this lady's house with cash in hand.
Oh, you checked them out.
I looked at them all, and I told her what was up and what was, I said, I'll give it to you right now. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll clear your whole. It's like all over her house, like living room, dining room, kitchen. Like, I'm like, I will clear out your house. Like, you'll get your life back. And she was like, no. I was like, all right, whatever. So I left. And now the listing's down from 30. It was started at 4,500. then went to 3,500, then went to 2,500. Now it's at 1,500. So I'm just kind of like, now it's just a matter of principle.
Dude, I tried that once. There was a guy selling a pallet of CDs, and they were all boxed up nice and neat. I think he started at like 750. I'm like, I'll do $300. He's like, I'm gonna let it sit out here, right? So it sat out there. Price came down to like, I think he wound up getting down to like 450 or something. And it's like a full pallet. They're all nice and boxed, right? I was just like, I didn't take your approach. I just reached out and said, dude, I'll just do the 450. I made a shit ton of money. And honestly, it made sense because they were all boxed up nice and neat for me. So like it wasn't a complete disaster zone, probably like you're dealing with. But yeah, I didn't hold out for my $300 to come back around. I ponied up the extra 150 and swallowed my pride. And yeah, it turned out to work out.
Yeah, I mean, she does have them like neatly boxed. There's like stacks against walls and like in the middle of her living room that would have to be boxed up. But like, I don't know. I saw a bunch, and it's like 40 copies of Harry Potter. It's
Yeah.
like I don't really want. And I scanned one that came back at like $15 profit, so it's there. It's just, I got to go through it all, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go through 30 Harry Potters and 40 Twilights before I get to the one WWE that I can send in. So it's like I don't know if it gets to the point where it is that because I got to rent a U-Haul and stuff too. So I was like, I'll wait it out.
People like
She's
that are
got
weird.
she's got
Like,
she's got my number. She can reach out.
who do they think? Who do they think is gonna, buy it? Just some movie fan?
Yeah, maybe somebody starting a video store. I don't know.
I think you're right though. Nobody else wants this stuff. I know we say it all the time. Like
Yeah.
nobody else is going to offer anything.
Well, that's what I told her. I said you're trying to sell to like specific. She was like having people reach out and like she was separating like the westerns and she's like, this is too much work. I was like, yeah, and you're gonna get these people that are gonna cherry pick the top 5%. You're gonna get stuck with 90% of junk. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's junk. And she took a little bit of offense to that. I was like, it's not going anywhere. It's gonna sit in your literally in front of your TV for the next 3 months. So just let me take it. And she was like, no. So I was like, all right. And now that's where we're at. That's the update on that story.
We'll have to check back in.
Yeah,
You'll have to keep
I'll
us
let you know.
posted in the Discord.
I'll let you know if I pick it up.
I guess it'd be pretty cool to have like furniture made out of like DVDs, right? Like you got 6,000, 10,000 DVDs, right? And your couch is just DVDs glued together with cushions on top, right? I mean, side tables, kitchen tables, everything is just made out of DVD cases. My exclusive one of a kind Harry Potter table lamp that I have, and it's just all the Harry Potter DVDs stacked on top. That's the thing when you do the buyouts. And I even asked my guy when I went because it was the same thing. It was a old movie store that he bought out, and I was like, dude, like how many of these are like copies of each other? And thankfully, a lot of the new ones there was duplicate of like I got so much damn brand new Disney out of that guy. I probably made like I don't even want to too much money because I know he did find my channel. It's like, oh, I can't wait to see the video on it. I didn't do a video on it, but yeah, I definitely. But I had to fill up the Ultima like 4 times, and it was like an hour one way. So I didn't rent a U-Haul. I'm too cheap to rent a U-Haul. I can barely drive the Ultima. I definitely can't parallel park a U-Haul. That's for sure. I moved out the city. I can't parallel park no more. So yeah, I probably crashed a U-Haul like 6 times on my way back. So yeah, I just load up the Ultima, floor to ceiling, leave Deb at home so I can put some in the passenger seat. The car is yelling at me because the seatbelt's not on in the passenger seat, and it thinks somebody's sitting there because I got so much damn weight on the seat with all the DVDs. And there are once a year type deals that come around, right? So you get this fear of missing out sometimes, like, oh man, like should I go spend the $3,500? But like we know there's nobody else that's going to spend $3,500 on DVDs, right? Even in the reseller landscape, like how many other resellers know what they're doing to that extent with DVDs that they're going to be willing to spend $3,500? We're talking a percent of a percent here. So just know that nobody else wants this stuff, and it's okay to come up a little bit from your price, but don't just be like, well, I got to get this, or someone else is going to get this. That's how you get yourself into bad buys because you think you're missing out on something when in actuality ain't nobody else reaching out to these people.
I mean, to piggyback, since that lady of 13,000, I've picked up 2 different buys of 6,000 and 8,000. So they're out there.
Yeah. And just remember, you got to get rid of all the Harry Potters. and all the 40-year-old virgins and all the what's
Well,
another?
I'll tell you what. I live in a townhome, and there's a dumpster right outside my house, and I thought it was going to be the worst thing in the world because there's a dumpster right outside my house. But there's trash pickups 3 days a week, and I fill that dumpster every single day, and it has been like the biggest blessing in the world because I literally walk 20 feet out of my garage, put everything in the dumpster, and walk right back in. It's the best.
When I worked at CVS, we had a dumpster, and I would I would load up my duds and throw them into the dumpster CVS had out back. It was one of the few good perks of being at CVS.
I do that with my ice cream shop if I have like boxes in my truck that I just like am processing during slow season. I just throw them right into that dumpster too.
Yeah, it's crazy. We throw out so much of this stuff, and there's still an endless supply of it out there in the universe. What else we got going on?
Well, I heard, oh, Max is talking. I heard Max on Romer today, and good job. Congratulations. I did not quite understand your beginning when you were talking about your trigger sets and the different kinds of buys that you'll make. I think you were speaking about low profit, high volume kinds of stuff versus
Mhm.
more long tail stuff. You had a lot of good things to say, but I didn't quite follow or fully understand everything you were talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes if you go to places such as Goodwill, at least from my experiences, they like taking the higher value stuff, so your long tail and your high value dollar stuff. So sometimes there's going to be some sources where you're only going to find maybe $15 or $16 books that are high demand, and that's going to be your range of accepts in that trigger set. And there's going to be different sources that are going to be like that. And I'm going to be honest, those can be quite reliable if you're going the lower dollar route. It just they usually, if there's a really good source, there's going to be a mix of those and then higher dollar stuff. But many sources which aren't going to be the 100% best quality, there's only going to be those high sales score, lower priced but still profitable items, and that's definitely an avenue you can go down.
So what he's saying
Oh,
is work more for less, which I agree. It's not like it used to be. I think everybody here that's been selling books on Amazon for over a month realizes that it's not what it used to be, right? It's
yeah, I
harder.
mean, it's just really maximizing the value of your time, and of course, you either have to pick up what you can, or you're gonna not do the business at all. That's really how I see it.
That video I put out yesterday, a lot of the stuff I was showing you all was fast moving books that's, basically between $4 and $7 profit. That's just I see that in the book category as like the cream of the crop stuff. Like that's the stuff that's going to sell quick. If it gets returned, it's probably going to sell again. So you really the risk is low with it, but the caveat to that is it'll suck your cash flow if you don't have cash flow, right? If you're buying that stuff, especially if you're spending $1 to make $3 or $4, even though it's a fast mover, it's going to slow your cash flow down and it's going to create more work. So if your processes have any type of deficiencies when it comes to how fast you're listing and pricing, you can sink your ship really fast by going heavy into the fast moving lower profit type items, and that's just the reality of it. So for me it makes sense because I can bang everything out. I have the cash flow. But like if I'm doing this part time, I'm 100% not touching that stuff, unless I'm getting it for like a quarter or 50 cents, or unless I feel like I'm in a rut and I can't find anything, then maybe I have to suck it up for a week or two and send in the fast moving low dollar stuff. But other than that, in the part time world, I think you leave that stuff behind almost every single time, unless you're struggling to find items. And maybe this is what exists in your thrift stores is the dollar into $4 or $5, as long as the sales score is 75 plus, 50 plus, then it makes sense. But overall, it's not a road I recommend to anybody unless you're chasing the buy box as well. That's the only other pass I'll give you. But for the majority of people here listening to this, it's leave that stuff behind. And if he had to list everything on his own, he would leave that stuff behind as well. So don't let him fool you. All right, he's got people to do that work. What else we got going on? We got 14 minutes left.
One thing I've noticed when I went outsourcing, I don't know if anybody else is facing it, is getting hit with a lot more restricted items that you can just simply go in and apply and you get unrestricted right away. And it's been stuff that I've already, like it's mass media or even CDs and stuff like that. I'm still getting hit with the gates, even though it takes me just a few minutes to keep on hitting, unrestrict, good to go.
Yeah, same thing with me. I probably get maybe 15 or 20 a week where I have to just apply, and I get approved for every single one every single time, but it is annoying. I mean, I guess you could say maybe it's a sign of things to come, right? Maybe they're trying to see like who's selling what brands, and maybe these brands they're letting people get ungated now that are selling it currently, and maybe there's a cap on how many sellers they're going to allow to sell these certain brands, because it's common stuff like you said, right? It's like Oxford Press or like Cambridge Press or like things that we've sold for years and years, and like every single one I'm in the same boat as you. Every single one you get approved for. uh but yeah, I've been seeing them too. I don't know, there's got to be a rhyme or reason to it, and that's kind of what I kind of broke it down to, is they just are going to ungate so many people that are actually selling those brands, and then they're not going to ungate other people like down the road as more people are actually ungated in that brand. But it's stupid brands.
Yeah, like I went out there like this past Saturday for like about 4.5 to 5 hours, and just went to all my libraries like I usually do, scanned a whole bunch of them, and just one after another, it would go green and then restricted, go green and restricted. I'm like, dang, this is really cutting into my time.
Welcome back to the newbie level. That's basically what they're telling you. Hey, but yeah, it's weird because I get them too. So it's like, there's got to be something going on, because if I'm getting them, you're getting them. I'm sure other people are getting them here, and it's just stuff we've sold.
Hmm.
But at least we're in the club now, Eric. The hell with everybody else. Me and you were in. Nobody else can sell it. We get rich off these brands. It's weird though, because it's super common ones, and I'd never even heard of gates on some of these. Just like whatever. You just got to keep the Amazon seller app open and then scan it over there and apply right through there.
Yeah, it's weird. Like 3 days down, Cheryl Crow. I had one Dolly Parton. Like it was weird, just constant restricted, restricted. And then I go to apply, you're unrestricted. I'm like, okay, fine. I recheck it, I'm good to go. I'm like,
Yeah, it sucks when you're listing them and then you gotta put them in the next batch or wait 15 minutes for them to populate in so you can actually list them again.
hmm
Yeah, I haven't run into any hard gates at all lately.
Yeah, most of mine have been all soft gates. Like I hit apply, you're approved, good to go. Go on, move.
Yeah, I had that too. I usually get auto ungated in maybe 3 or 4 out of 5. But then I did hit a McGraw-Hill, and if the odd one pops up that wants an invoice. But yeah, there's still a lot of auto ungating, and I did get gated in Universal and Marvel, but somehow not Scholastic or Hallmark. So I don't know what happened there.
I got gated in Scholastic and it was 100 units. This was a couple days ago.
Good, you open? Nothing.
All right, I'm gonna read you the ones I got recently ungated in because I'm looking at my applications, right?
hmm
I got Duke, Loyola Press, GS2 branded, Solutions, THQ, CI, Skybound, Carolina, Mango, Threshold, McDougal, Prager, Avery, C branded, University of Minnesota, Reformation, Imagine, Honey, Rizzoli, Imprint, Classic Flicks, Tiller, PVG, Faith, University of Illinois Press, Great Branded, Gravitas, Olive, Alabaster, Yahweh. These are all within the last month. Turner, Grow, Speak, Skyhorse, Whitman.
Dang. Yeah, let's see.
I
How
know
did you
I
get
know
there?
older accounts they definitely work different in terms of even hard gates. I know Sigil is he still is able to apply for a 10 item ungate from Nintendo right now, even though it's been hard gated for a majority of people for a very long time. So it's definitely different. I think a big factor is your account age. Like I know that Mike just got ungated from Funko at least few months ago, maybe on a call, even though it's hard gated for all of us. So it really does vary per person, I'd say. But that's it might vary per number, it might vary per age. I mean, it's a billion different factors you can only assume because Amazon has that hidden black box of everything and how they work their processes for some reason.
Yeah, most definitely.
I did go through my old applications and I just right clicked and opened up all these tabs, and about three-quarters of them ungated for me, and there was a few that still wanted an invoice.
Trying to see the last book publisher that I was not approved in. I don't even know what this thing is.
Some books I know they do something weird where they set up like a subcategory of books that you're gated in, even though even if you apply just a basic book because there's going to be subcategories that they don't even approve for. It can get really weird with some of the gates that they set up. Like I had one subgate like educational books, even though they sell textbooks just fine in the regular book category. So
The
some
pattern
gates can
I've
be weird.
noticed is if it has a dollar sign in front of the brand, you're most likely going to need an invoice. If it doesn't have a dollar sign in front of the brand, as long as you've been selling for a decent amount of time, you should get auto ungated.
100%. That's the best way to go in that.
There goes one I'm gated in, and it's a book brand. Curious if anybody here is ungated, and if so, why are you ungated and why am I not ungated? I'm going to need a full written explanation report. I'm
Yeah,
under
to
6
Max's
months.
point. Yeah, to Max's point though, I see it as even the CDs like and DVDs, like their distributors or their production companies have sub-production companies and stuff. Because it's like Paramount, Bayview, the Criterion Collection again, even though I'm ungated in Criterion, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even there's some sub brands like I know there's 21st Century Fox, but even there's some random sub brands like, for example, this DVD right here, Fox Racing. I don't think you can get any invoice for that, and I think Fox Racing is like a sports merchandise brand. But there's those brands even like CDs where they're Dolce and Gabbana. But in reality, they're owned by Universal Music Group, so their
Mike,
system kind of can be
I'm
broken.
gated in that ASIN, but dollar sign. So I expected to be gated in it as soon as I saw the dollar sign in front of the brand.
What I have had luck for is if the item is obviously not a certain brand, if you apply and get it enough to human review, and you could say that this is not gated correctly, I've had items taken down just for it, even though I was rejected from it. I was actually became able to sell certain items. I know the Dolce and Gabbana, for example, it's if the brand is like Deutsche Grammophon for CDs. It's like some really Baroque style thing, but you can go to gating applications and you can complain about it, and sometimes they'll follow through and help you actually fix it if you put the time into it. But if it doesn't have the value, then don't even do that.
Yeah, I agree. Heads over in the YouTube chat says, I'm under 6 months in. WWE's asking for only 10 items. Everyone else wants 100. Well, then you should have bought 10 items yesterday because usually WWE DVDs are usually pretty high accept rates. I got ungated in WWE. One of the
I think
few I
I'm
did.
hard gated. I got to find a WWE. So if he can put in the invoice, he should definitely do that.
For sure.
Here, I'll throw a
Especially,
WWE ASIN in the chat.
especially only 10. It only cost you like 60 bucks, 70 bucks maybe. You probably can get one right off their website for cheap. And you can get like a Stone Cold shirt for me and just mail it to me.
I have one question. I'm sure this has been answered before. But when you're sending a Home Depot small box full of cities to Amazon, has anybody ever had it been destroyed in transit because it's so heavy and awkward? or do you pad it or anything like that? I mean, I know my
I
kids
mean,
put it
I
in
think
there.
definitely a good way to go is definitely kill off the air bubbles in the boxes. There's air bubbles in boxes all the time, and they can look impacted. Like I know Average Joe sent me a box and there wasn't too much padding in part of it, and it looked like Superman hit it. And it's just removing the air bubbles inside of the box, and if you remove that and then have good taping, there shouldn't be really any issues with having a box collapse like that because those boxes are meant to hold the 50, 60 pound
Yeah,
range.
I kind of figured that was going to get banged up a little bit, but whatever.
No, it's
not his
It's
problem.
consignment, so not my problem.
it's not really an issue, but
Also, that WWE is 10 units, 50 if you're using an Amazon invoice for that one. So I'm going to go buy 10 units of WWE right now.
There you go.
I'm still working on my Universal from Target BS. So, Average Joe's, I remember you're going to go back and buy those from Target and then return them again?
No, I'm not. And I can send you a screenshot of some of the Nickelodeon ones. I lost $1 on all of them, just so that I wouldn't get you guys on my butt again. So
What do you mean lost $1 on all of them?
I bought some from Nickelodeon that were losers. Like they were like $6 worth new. So I just
Everything that I bought from
I just
Target
sold
for
them.
Universal was a loser. They were
Yeah.
$3 a piece.
Well, the Universal ones I returned. It's the Nickelodeon ones I bought next that I didn't return that I sold on Amazon for a loss. So you're welcome.
I don't know why
I will
you're
not return them
welcome.
again.
I sold
I
a
will
lot of my
never-
Universal from Target just to get my health score up for a loss.
I will never return a DVD to a retailer ever again. You guys have my word on that.
You are free to run your business any way you'd like.
Where's Johnny when we need him so he can throw that up in there?
Christian books sell WWE. Yeah.
Literally, I like never go on Johnny's calls, and I knew that night I had to defend myself. I was like, "This is it."
He got
I
subpoenaed.
mean, most of the stuff that I buy for gating, I just donate, right back,
I think 10 WWE though, that's a steal. I mean, how many WWE do we come across and are usually pretty much always accepts, at least in my experience.
Yeah, WWE is
Especially
always a
in
winner
bulk
for me.
buys too. Mm-hmm.
It just what website you're going to use, right? I would probably go Target. I know some people, Paco, he's not here. He tried using Christian Book, I think, for Universal, and they wouldn't accept it. So I would go the Target route if I'm going to get ungated in a brand.
Is Target the same?
Target is
the
good
same way?
unless it says invoice from a retailer not accepted. Then it has been an issue for me. But as long as it doesn't say on the like requirements that WWE ASIN does not say an invoice from a retailer not accepted. So Target should probably work.
Oh, okay.
All right, last call for alcohol while I go find a WWE DVD on Target.
Max is losing his consignment business on the end of this call, one by one.
Hell yeah. Max, we're running you
As
out of
soon
business.
as soon as Sony drops its gate, sorry,
Yeah.
Max.
He's done. He's cooked.
I don't see. All I see is the Scooby-Doo WWE on Target, which I doubt is probably gated behind WWE. Although I've sold the Scooby-Doo WWE DVDs, like 3 of them in the past month. All right, so now you're all going to be racing to get ungated in WWE. Good luck and Godspeed. I did that many, many moons ago. I guess we'll wrap it up here. Anybody got any good horror movie recommendations? I'm an open book to horror movie recommendations for the next 2 minutes. And if it sucks, you will be held accountable. So don't throw no garbage out there. I want to watch something that's good and scary.
The Fog, the OG one, not the new one.
I mean, all right, give me something that maybe I haven't seen as a horror fan.
Thanksgiving.
I think I've seen that. That had McDreamy in it, right? From
I don't know. It's like a about a turkey that kills people.
Oh no, no, I was thinking
Yeah.
thanks killing. All right,
Can confirm you won't be disappointed.
all right. Thanks killing looks like a kind of funny meme movie. How is Johnny's consignment game starting out, Mike? Good, he already sold 3 of my items. I can't complain, and I don't gotta look nothing up, so I can send him whatever I want in the box. I don't have to deal with it or see it ever again. If it ain't worth it, he does whatever he does with that stuff. Eats it, feeds it to the birds, I don't know, burns it, whatever. Whatever works for him. I just don't want to do no work. Thanksgiving is the only damn recommended horror movie recommendation. We watched one last night called Painted. It kind of sucked. We got the new Final Destination movie. Apparently, is pretty good, but I can't. That level of gore and like people's heads exploding and like stuff like that. I'm not cut out for that lifestyle. I won't be able to sleep or watch the movie for the majority of it.
Did you ever watch Creep?
Yeah, we watched Creed. It wasn't bad. I can't believe they made sequels though. Like I can't see it going further than what it did.
Yeah. I'm not even a huge horror movie fan, so if it gets me, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah, Creep was good.
You don't like Terrifier?
I'm not a Terrifier fan. I think that's like a little bit too corny satire for me. I
What's
see
that
the
movie?
appeal. Go
The
ahead,
lead
Andy.
singer of Twisted Sister made a movie to scare children back in the day. What was that movie called?
I have no idea.
Where he like hangs himself on his back muscles.
No idea.
Jingle All the Way. That's a pretty scary movie.
Jingle All the Way is amazing. All right. I'm going to go watch Thanksgiving. Probably not. I don't think I can convince Deb to watch that one. I'll just go find a free one on Tubi or Amazon with my Amazon Prime subscription and go off the wonderful reviews that they have. Plenty of true crime and body cams and interrogation videos on YouTube to watch for gore. I'm good. Some of that stuff is a little too crazy that's out there on the internet. I just enjoy a good scare, like Paranormal Activity, the OG Paranormal Activities, right? Good old school slasher horror. That's kind of what's up my alley. So, all right. I appreciate you all, as always. Everybody have a good one. You know where to find me. Let me know if you get ungated in WWE. Average Joe said you can also use action figures on Target, so you can find some cheap John Cena, Undertaker type figures. You can keep some for yourself. I wouldn't be against you sending me a John Cena or Undertaker action figure. Strangeland. Okay, I'll look into this as well. We got the new Stephen King Derry TV series coming out about Pennywise the Clown, one of my all-time favorites. I got the books. I never read them, but what are you going to do? I don't like reading books. I just like selling them. Everybody have a good night. Appreciate you. Go Blue as always.